Now at noon, a severe weather alert day is in effect as Tropical Storm Cindy has been downgraded to a tropical depression. I've been talking to the superintendent of Mount Pleasant ISD all morning this morning. He's told me right now they're just waiting for updates on the conditions of about 20 people, including students, sent to about 5 different hospitals. If you are going out this morning to look at the damage that has passed after the storms, be careful of any downed power lines because that can happen very often in storms like this. These are new pictures this morning of some of the damage done by those fires. It's being described as apocalyptic. It's hard not to get emotional myself because this is a 7-year-old child that we're talking about that they believe they found his body. And looking closer to home, behind me now is what neighbors in Cameron, Louisiana woke up to today. Well, we were actually right here when it happened. We were moved back by police officers. They told us to move back, move back. 2 people were caught red-handed and later arrested, accused of stealing a dog from inside this fence. And they were busted because the woman next door has cameras on her house. And I want you to take a look at the DOTD's website for lane closures. This is South Louisiana, and if you can kind of see on your screen there are some blue little circles, and I'm standing in a couple of inches of water right here. Some residents are trying to stay in their homes as long as possible, but for some, the only way to get home is by boat. The first set of fans already made their way inside the theater, but something they couldn't bring with them is stuff like this lightsaber. Since Lacey is now an official cheerleader, I had to have her show me some of her moves.
Take it away. No.
Oh, definitely come on out, and a big thank you. I mean, we have not 1, not 2, but 3 trucks full of food. It's kind of hard to see exactly what's going on right now. We are across the street on Mansfield Road, just south of 70th, across from where all the activity is happening. But you can see what I can see. There are a lot of cars out here from the sheriff's office, from the Caddo Parish coroner's office, from fire department, from Shreveport Fire Department, from the Shreveport Police Office. There are a lot of people out here, and you can see a little bit of activity over there on the railroad tracks, again, across on Mansfield Road. Near 70th, just south of 70th on the northbound lane. And actually they have even blocked off traffic to people on Mansfield Road heading north from Valley View Drive all the way up to 70th, so no one can actually drive past where these cars are northbound. There are still cars driving southbound. As you can see, cars are passing. There is a growing number of people that is out here where we are in the Sutherland's parking lot just across the road from the bayou. A lot of people concerned, waiting for word just like we are to see exactly what's happening. But again, Caddo Parish Coroner's van is out here. They just came out here, I would say about 10-15 minutes ago, and I saw them just a few minutes ago head down towards the bayou. So we are waiting for official word from anyone as to what is happening, but that's what we're seeing right now. A lot of police activity happening here, and I actually saw this on my way to the Unified Command Center this morning to catch up with them during the 3rd day of this search. I was heading south on Mansfield. I was about to turn onto Mansfield from 70th, and I happened to look to my left while I was at the red light because I saw siren lights, and I saw Shreveport Fire Chief Scott Wolverton in a car heading towards where they are now, and then I saw a lot more police and fire with their siren or their lights on, not sirens on, and they started coming this way and all parking around that area there. So again, we are waiting for official word as to what is happening in this 3rd day of the search for 7-year-old Deshaun Cumbest. Doug, it was inside this home on Del Rio Street where that tragic shooting happened, and tonight Grover Cannon's own mother tells me she was worried long before police were ever called.
Like I say, we already know you talk crazy. I said, me and your little baby sister for the leave. You and your boyfriend, y'all get out the house.
Ramona Cannon is Grover Cannon's mother. She says she saw her son right before police say he opened fire on Shreveport police officer Thomas LaValle.
I was at home long enough to stick my key in the door. My daughter and them hadn't even made out the yard.
Just after 9 last Wednesday night, Shreveport police officer Thomas LaValle was dispatched to a home in the 3500 block of Del Rio Street for a suspicious person call. According to police, a woman called 911 saying a man was in her neighbor's home threatening them. The caller told police the man may be armed and that he possibly had an outstanding warrant for his arrest. From Shreveport Police Department's original news release, when Officer LaValle arrived, the suspect, Grover Cannon, shot LaValle multiple times in the upper body. Cannon ran from the home and led law enforcement agencies from across northwest Louisiana on a citywide manhunt.
I hate everything happened. Like I said, I wasn't here.
But Cannon is standing up for her son.
He got in a lot of trouble all his life, but it was like drugs and, burglary, stuff like that, not no murder or nothing.
According to police, Grover Cannon was wanted on one count of attempted second-degree murder charges after police say he shot a man on July 15th.
My son was in a deep, deep depression.
Driving down I-49 in DeSoto Parish, you see a lot of trees. But one tree in particular always stands out. It's on its own, a lonely little tree all by itself on the median. I've seen this tree many times the past 2.5 years and always wondered, why is it decorated?
And that's the beauty of this tree, is that this scrawny little tree was a symbol in so many ways to so many people.
This week, I finally got an answer. On Friday, Wes Gauthier posted a picture of the tree on his Facebook page with his story. He says his little sister, Amanda Crystal Gauthier, was moved from their hometown of Hesmer, Louisiana, to a special needs child care center in Gladewater, Texas, in November of 1991.
We would travel the interstate on I-49 and go visit her every weekend. And this little tree was always like the halfway point for us. And I would see this scrawny little tree and think how pitiful it looked. And eventually I just decided at Christmas of that year to hang an ornament on it.
He told me the tree, which he always called the nanny tree, always used to be flat on the top.
So her nickname was always Nanny. So that tree represented going see Nanny.
His sister died in September of 2011. Gauthier went to bring his sister home and saw his nanny tree again along the way.
I noticed the tree had a sprout coming out the top of it. And it's just weird because the tree was always flat. And it was just a real symbolic time. And it's just really touching to see that the tree is finally growing out and becoming a real tree now.
After seeing the tree during a recent trip to Shreveport, Gauthier posted to Facebook explaining his history with the tree. Lots of people commented, and that's when he learned of others' special connection to this tree.
I spoke to her daughter, who said that her son was killed in an accident near that area, and so painful to hear that. And she said that when she would see the ornaments, it was like it was a sign from her son, and it was something that it brought, I guess, peace to them. She said that they did take the ornament.
No longer a lonely tree, but filled with lots of wishes and love by complete strangers. We're following some breaking news this morning. This just beyond the arc latex. Authorities in Texas say a 13-year-old girl who was the subject of an Amber Alert has been found dead in Dallas. The body of Siobhan Randall was discovered early this morning after a shots fired call at a house in South Dallas. This is a picture from the scene from our CBS affiliate there. Another body of an unidentified man was also found in that home. The CBS affiliate in Dallas is reporting that the FBI is now in charge of the investigation. Randall was reported kidnapped by family members Wednesday from Lancaster, Texas, which is just south of Dallas on Interstate 20. 4 suspects have been arrested or detained, but the fate of the teen was not known until early this morning. A heartbreaking development in this story. This is still a developing story. We'll be sure to have more as the day goes on. Also new this morning, Shreveport Fire is investigating an early morning house fire. They got the call around 4:30 this morning of a fire on DuPont Street between Ferry Avenue and Orla Avenue. When firefighters got there, they saw flames coming from a bedroom window. No one was home at the time. They do not know the cause of the fire at this time, but they are investigating. Some new information this morning after a deadly shooting late Saturday. Shreveport police are looking for a man who they say shot at 2 people in a car in Shreveport's Moortown neighborhood. Officers got the call just before 9:30 of a shooting on Flora by Long Street and Jewella. According to police, 2 people were in a car near Hollywood and Jewella when a man in a gray Cadillac got out of his car and started shooting at them. One person inside that car died and the other was taken to University Health with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say they do not know a motive or they have a description of the shooter or shooters at this time. At one point during the police investigation, 35 units were on scene. Officers were there providing crowd control. A large crowd had gathered at the scene.
and were said to be very emotional there. Also new this morning, we're learning more about a body that was discovered in Shreveport. Police are officially investigating that death as a homicide. Just before 3 o'clock Saturday, Shreveport police patrol officers responded to reports of a body found behind a building in the 1600 block of Lakeshore Drive. That's near St. Joseph Catholic Cemetery. According to police, a male's body had been found and it appeared to have been set on fire. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. Some more new information this morning. We've now learned that Shreveport police are looking for a driver who fled the scene of a deadly accident on I-49. It happened just after 4:30 Saturday afternoon near the Kings Highway exit. Shreveport police tell us a red pickup truck was traveling south when it was hit by a white Chevy truck, causing the driver of that red pickup to lose control and flip several times on the interstate. One person was killed and another man was transported to the hospital in serious condition. The driver of the white truck fled the scene. The accident shut down southbound 49 for several hours. The DeSoto Parish Sheriff's Office needs your help finding a missing man. Richard Hargis, this is him on your screen right there. He was last seen Friday evening leaving the AutoZone on North State Line in Texarkana, Texas, wearing an AutoZone hat and uniform. He's driving a new unmarked white Dodge Towmaster van and was supposed to be traveling back to Shreveport. He's a DeSoto Parish resident, and if you see him, you're asked to call the DeSoto Parish Sheriff's Office. People in Little Rock, Arkansas organized vigils and prayed on Saturday in the hours after several dozen were shot at a nightclub there. 25 people suffered gunshot wounds and 3 others were hurt while trying to leave. More than 100 people came together to pray in downtown late last night. About half a dozen people took turns leading the crowd in various prayers. Little Rock's police chief credits the quick work of first responders for there being no fatalities after 28 people were hurt in that shooting at that rap concert earlier Saturday. But people at the vigil says that there needs to be more done at home.
They need to stop. Please put the guns down. Please do.
Earlier this morning, a 24-year-old Memphis-based rapper was taken into custody at a Birmingham, Alabama nightclub in connection with the shooting at the Arkansas club that left 28 people hurt. This is Ricky Hampton, also known as Finesse two times. He was arrested by U.S. Marshals around 3:30 this morning. One brewery is using a unique process to take your leftover food and turn it into beer. We have that story coming up.